Good morning, naturalists. It is a windy, chilly Earth Day here in Northwood, New Hampshire. Charlie and I are about to head out on a little walk. We are going to collect some natural seeds to feed to the birds in our backyard. Now, I'm staying out of the woods today for the most part because it is super duper windy, and whenever there's big gusts of wind, I always think about tree branches falling or trees falling in the woods. So when it's really windy like today, I try to stay out of the deep woods just to keep myself safe. Charlie, come. There we go. Sit. Sit. So today, instead of going deep into the woods, we are going to try to find some plants and gather their seeds to feed to the birds. But first, let's sing our good morning song. Everybody ready? Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun. Good morning, dear resting stone, and the beasts on the run. Good morning, dear flowers, and the birds in the trees. Good morning to you, and good morning to me. Beautiful. Now, before we head out on our walk, because it's so windy today, I felt like kind of moving like a tree. So I would love for you to join me at home. Super easy to do. So, Charlie, come. Buddy. So you're going to start by planting your roots. So trees have big, strong, sturdy roots to keep them safe and strong. So plant those roots, and then we're going to start as a little acorn. So tuck down like an acorn, and then start to shoot up, start to grow, turn into a little sapling, stick out some branches, grow taller, let your branches bloom with leaves, raise your branches up, and then sway like a tree in the wind. Oh, it's nice to get moving before we go out on a walk. Oh, stretch up really tall, and then come back down as an acorn. Grow, 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 turn into a sapling, stretch out your branches, let your leaves spread out, reach up high and sway in the breeze. Oh, that is nice. Now, Charlie and I are going to head out on our walk, and we'll show you what we find. Now, a wild bird food walk is great to do on a windy day because we're not looking for plants that grow in the forest. We're looking for plants that grow along the sides of roads or in a big open field. So if you have habitats like that nearby, that's the perfect place to look. All right, naturalists, so I found my first plant with some seeds. Now, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what this plant is. It's some sort of grass. I did already pick it. Got the dog leash. But I'm going to collect this, and you can see the seeds on there. So I'm going to use this as part of my wild bird food to see if the birds want to eat it. Now, when we're out picking plants, we want to make sure that we follow good harvesting guidelines. So there were about 10 of these grasses growing in one spot, so I only picked one. I want to make sure there's plenty of grasses to go around and that I'm not taking too many away from one habitat. So a good rule is the 10% rule. All right, naturalists, I found another one. Now, once again, I'm not 100% sure about this plant, but she has some seeds. You can kind of see. So I'm going to harvest one of these stalks because there's only a couple of plants, full plants growing here. So I'm just gonna harvest one little piece and we'll take this back and see if we can figure out what it is before we turn it into some wild bird food. All right, now this one I recognize. This is our goldenrod, and there's tons of seeds on this goldenrod. So again, I checked the area, made sure there were plenty of goldenrod around. Goldenrod's not struggling too much. So I'm gonna harvest this one to use as our wild bird food. So Charlie and I have harvested a bunch of dried wild weed seeds to turn into our wild bird food, but I wanted to show you all where we harvested them. So I'm just gonna do a little 360 here. So this is just a big, wide open field next to a forest by my house. So you don't need to go deep into the woods to find these wild foods for birds. They're growing probably right in your backyard, along the road you live on, or in a nearby field. So head to one of these places and see if you can find some plants in seed and responsibly harvest them to make some wild bird food. All right, naturalists, Charlie and I are back in our backyard and we collected this lovely bouquet of potential wild bird food. Now, feeding the birds in your backyard is so much fun and it can be so rewarding. You get to see who lives in your nature neighborhood, how often they come for a visit, and you get to learn more about what birds eat. Now, I usually have just some black oil sunflower seeds at my house. Oh, there they are, to feed the birds. But finding wild bird food is such a great alternative, especially right now when we're all spending so much time at home. So look for these kind of wild weeds. I'll show you that one right there. And look for those seeds. You can see them in that plant. Here's another one. Check those seeds out. So this is what you want to look for. And this is what birds naturally eat in the wild. Some birds will crack acorns. Some birds will gather seeds. Some will even eat fern leaves. That was a rhyme and I didn't even plan it. So birds eat all sorts of food, and gathering stuff like this can be a fun way to experiment and test a bird's preference. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to harvest these seeds. Well, first I'm going to sort them. So I have one of these, one of these, one of these, a couple, whoop, they're all connected. There we go. A couple of these, one of these, and one of these. And I'm going to put them all in separate containers to see what the birds prefer. Now, I'll start my first container, and I'll just kind of show you how I'm going to get these seeds off and into my bowl. It's really easy to do. So I'm just going to slide my fingers up the plant stalk and kind of wiggle them around a little bit. So I'm going the opposite way, wiggling, wiggling, getting all those, woo, windy, getting all those seeds off of there. And then I should just have an empty stalk of a plant left at the end. There it is. And there is my wild bird food. Now, I'm going to cheat a bit and I'm going to sprinkle in just a couple of black oil sunflower seeds to make sure they know that the food is here and they should come to eat it. And then because it's so windy out, I'm just going to put a rock in my bowl, make sure it doesn't blow away. And then let me do one more for you all. Let's try this big plant. All right, same system. We're just gonna move our way up the plant, get all those seeds off of there, slide up. We have an empty stalk. Sprinkle in some black oil sunflower seeds. They all slid to the bottom. That's that. So it's that simple, naturalists. Get out there, find an open field, take a walk along your road, and look for these wild weeds that can feed our birds. It's a ton of fun. You can learn about these plants, maybe gather some extras, and make a lovely bouquet for your table. Or just do a lot of experimenting with wild bird food. All right, naturalists, I'm going to check on my wild bird food tomorrow and see who came for a visit, and I hope you do the same. Have fun out there, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.